Have you ever felt that there are works of art so powerful that it's impossible to understand why almost no one talks about them? The painting you're looking at right now isn't in a major museum. It wasn't painted by a famous artist, and chances are you've never seen it before. But when you do, you can't deny that something stops you, because you don't need context, or to know about art, or even understand the Bible. You just need to look at it, and it cuts through you. The painting is called The Mocking of Christ, and it was completed in 1880 by Carl Bloch, a Danish artist who dedicated much of his life to depicting scenes from the New Testament. And when I say depicting, I don't mean copying them or illustrating them like stories. I mean he turned them into living experiences, almost cinematic. Bloch was born in Copenhagen in 1834 and belonged to a generation of painters who still worked with invisible brushstrokes, dramatic shadows, and a level of precision we might call hyperrealism today. What's curious is that while he was highly respected in his country, and in fact many Danish churches still preserve his works as part of their visual worship, outside of Denmark, his name is barely known. This particular painting, The Mocking of Christ, is housed in a small chapel inside Frederiksborg Castle in Denmark. It's not one of those works displayed at the Louvre or the Prado. There are no crowds or tourists lining up to see it, but there should be. What it represents is one of the cruelest moments in the gospel story. Jesus, after being arrested, is mocked by Roman soldiers. They place a crown of thorns on his head, a red robe on his shoulders as if he were a king, and hand him a reed like a scepter. Not to honor him, but to humiliate him. They beat him, spit on him, laugh at him. It's a scene we've seen many times, in sculptures, in frescoes, even in films, but never, never like this. There is no overflowing blood, no frenzied crowd, just two figures, total darkness, and a sharp focus on that single moment of mockery and dignity. From a technical standpoint, The Mocking of Christ feels like a painting from another era, and not because it's old, but because Bloch paints as if he had inherited the brushes of Rembrandt or Caravaggio. That's not an exaggeration. His command of chiaroscuro is absolute. He doesn't use light just to illuminate, he uses it to tell the story. Look at the background. It's a black abyss, almost total. There's no architecture, no landscape, nothing to distract you. The scene floats in a kind of theatrical void, like we're watching a stage play with everything around it plunged into darkness. And in that void, the two figures emerge with almost sculptural precision. But there's something deeply unsettling about this scene, and it's not just because of what's happening inside the painting, it's because of what it provokes outside of it. Because here Jesus isn't just being humiliated, he isn't defeated, he isn't caught in chaos, he's aware, present, and most powerful of all, he's looking at us. This is what's known as breaking the fourth wall, a technique used in film and theatre when a character looks directly at the audience, breaking the illusion of the story. Bloch does the same thing here, with a single gaze. Christ isn't looking at the soldier insulting him, he's looking at us, as if he knows we're here, as if he's including us in the moment, and that changes everything. Because how do you react when someone being humiliated unjustly looks at you like that? With that calm, that mix of silent pain and compassion. There's no hatred in his face, no resentment, but there's no indifference either. The contrast with the soldier is brutal. That open mouth, the tense eyes, the aggressive gesture. He's shouting, but we don't know what, and that opens the door to one of the most disturbing questions in this painting. What do you think he's saying? Is he insulting him, mocking him, or is it something more intimate, more cruel? Maybe he's not yelling King of the Jews like the Gospels say. Maybe it's something more human, something that might even make you feel targeted. And this is where the big question arises. Why isn't this painting famous? Why doesn't the mocking of Christ appear in art history books, in the world's most visited museums, or in the rankings of the greatest religious masterpieces of all time? The answer has nothing to do with quality, because we've already seen that in terms of technique, emotion, and depth, this painting stands shoulder to shoulder with any Caravaggio or Rubens. Instead, it has to do with something far more unforgiving: time and place. Carl Bloch was Danish, and while he was deeply respected in his own country, even admired by the King of Denmark himself, he didn't belong to the artistic power centers of his era. He wasn't Italian, he wasn't French, he wasn't part of the avant-garde movements shaping the future of European art. While the art world was shifting toward impressionism and modern experimentation, Bloch remained devoted to dramatic realism, and that left him outside the canon. But here's what's even more impressive. The Mocking of Christ wasn't a one-off masterpiece. It's part of a series of 23 monumental paintings commissioned directly by King Christian IX of Denmark. The king was so taken by Bloch's talent that he entrusted him with decorating the chapel of Frederiksborg Castle with scenes from the New Testament. This wasn't an accident, it was an official consecration, and yet, outside of Denmark, almost no one knows him. Maybe because he never had a major international exhibition. Maybe because his work never entered the most influential private collections. Or maybe simply because art, like history, has its own blind spots and injustices. But today, at least for a moment, we're giving him the place he deserves. Because this painting shouldn't just be known, it should be taught. When a painting has the power to stop you in your tracks, to make you feel seen, judged, and, at the same time, understood, you know you're standing in front of something extraordinary. The Mocking of Christ by Carl Bloch isn't just a forgotten artwork, it's a painting that still speaks, even if almost no one is listening. It speaks of the power of dignity, of silence in the face of hatred, and of how difficult it still is, even today, to hold someone's gaze when they confront us with the truth. Now that you've seen it, I'd love to know what it left you with. What do you think the soldier is saying to Jesus? Did you feel watched, uncomfortable, at peace, or maybe even guilty? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your interpretation. And if this painting moved you as much as it moved me, you can now have it in your own collection. The Mocking of Christ is available on our website, along with over 600 other carefully selected works. We offer free worldwide shipping, and we also have phone cases featuring reproductions of these unique pieces. By purchasing, you'll be directly supporting this channel and helping me continue to create content like this. The link will be in the description. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.